So, with a bit of breathing room to spare, India take the lead in this 5-match T20 international series, and certainly with a stiff target to chase. Creditable indeed it was. My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Just to wrap up everything that's happened in this first game, let's remind you, India winning the toss, putting New Zealand into bat. 203 for 5 looked like a very competitive score with 50s for Munro, Taylor and Williamson. And once India lost wickets in the middle, it was Shreyas Iyer with 58 not out of 29 who finished off the good work, the platform laid by Rahul and Virat Kohli towards the initial part. 204 for 4 with 6 deliveries to spare. Just to wrap things up in the studio, Zaheer Khan, but first Harsha Bhogle. I think
one of overestimated the bowling. I said it'll take 19.4. Now, but I mean, at any point did you think that India were not going to get it?
That's exactly. I mean, it's just the body language was there.
Yeah.
And the pleasing part was it was not a Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli show and you win by 9 wickets or 8 wickets. It was a little stutter in the middle, if you can call it that. And then the middle order coming in, finish things off.
Yes, there was a stutter, but they were always ahead of the game. You know, and that's something if at 10 over mark, how many were there? 130?
Well
115 for 2.
So that's like well ahead of how New Zealand were approaching the innings. So yes, even if the wickets fell at that stage, didn't look like India was under pressure at any stage, and it certainly didn't look like a chase of 203, because you expect the bowling team defending the total to be always in the game, and that's something which is in that sense was a bizarre game, because maybe the dimensions of the ground came into play, and 203 was effectively like a 180 or 175 kind of a total in any other ground.
In that little chat they had when the keeper was mic'd up, he said the slower ball was not gripping and coming. Slower ball was coming along really well onto the bat. He said he wondered if there's a little bit of dew. I thought either only Indians obsessed with dew, but the slower ball was coming along. To me, the big plus was number 4. I know number 4 is the sort of unauthorized biography of Indian cricket, but number 4 has done very well. The only reason I'm hesitant to say that was around this time in New Zealand last year, we thought we had found a number 4.
Yes, and we were all talking about the whole 3D aspect.
We thought, no, before that we thought we had found one. Was Ambati Raidu got 90 in New Zealand around this time of the year. But Shreyas Iyer, in this kind of situation, we just got to come and go for it. I think he's excellent.
And not just showing across 2 formats his ability to finish the game in a short span of time. And here's a confirmation of what he did. 58 of 29 deliveries. And this was the kind of time you needed someone to stick in there. Shivam Dube had come in, so had Manish Pandey. But it needed someone with a slightly meaty sort of innings, not just a cameo. And that's exactly what Shreyas Iyer provided, especially once Virat Kohli had departed. So I think that was important from India's point of view, to have someone from 4, 5 and 6 picking up the cudgels and winning the game.
You look at that scorecard today, India batting, and you look at the strike rates. Everyone has been batting at that strike rate. I think barring Manish Pandey, who was around 116, 118 strike rate. Rest of the guys were batting at that pace, and that's something which was important for or the discussion was happened around that okay, we have to go after the bowling no matter what, and that's what we saw. Even Rohit Sharma was looking to be aggressive to start with. New Zealand tried their best in terms of changing the momentum of the game by bringing in the spinner. It worked also in their favour, but after that wasn't really enough. I think the wicket was also good. Like we mentioned, the slower ones were actually coming onto the bat, so that wasn't the option for bowlers. And in this format, at times we've seen when bowlers are under pressure, somehow they don't seem to find the answers to curtail from batsmen.
Seemed like a double-edged sword almost to have 2 spinners playing against India. Yes, Santner got a wicket in his first over. Sodhi picked up a couple, but maybe that extra seamer maybe Colin the Grandhome.
Santner's gone 4 overs 50. Sodhi's gone 4 overs 36. So Sodhi's got just under par. Santner got hammered 30 in his first 2. So, you know, that innings against Australia that Shreyas Iyer played, I sense a sense of desperation. It was almost as if you bounce me, I'll back off and score runs. There was a sense of desperation about that innings. This one, he was just in complete control. So now you've got Rahul at the top and Shreyas Iyer on either side of Virat Kohli. So if you've got a Rahul and an Iyer on either side of Virat Kohli, that will take a lot of pressure off Virat.
And throw in a Rohit Sharma in there, and you've got
At the top. I mean, I'm not
at the
even
top.
counting Rohit and what. I'm just looking either side of Virat. Two young guns who play very modern kind of T20 cricket.
But just just to put things in perspective, there. Once we've mentioned Shreyas Iyer as the finisher, we should also bring in KL Rahul's contribution here, just because he does it now for a living and in his sleep. 8 50s in 13 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows consistency. It shows form. And it shows that you found the person you want at the top.
Well, you talk about purple patch in any batsman's career, and I think this is the purple patch which KL Rahul is under right now, and he should maximize it he should stretch it as much as he can. Ability wise, he's always been a special player. There is no doubt about that. You look at that 6 which he hits over square leg, and that's something not many batters can do it, and it's just that flick of the wrist, the timing. So that is something makes him that impact player which we always talk about. So he's got special ability. I think wicket keeping is something now is definitely going to be a road ahead for him. I think the team management is going to press on that he must keep wickets. And he has to prepare himself in that fashion now. We shouldn't get into a scenario where we are talking about, is wicket keeping affecting his batting. I think he should maximize.
In the short term, he'll probably be opener in T20 and number 5 in number
ODIs.
4 or number 5 in ODIs in the short term, while Shikhar is still playing. I think the ODI Shikhar's best format. There was one point, all of us were sitting, and Virat Kohli was playing all these big shots, and I looked up to see the score. Virat Kohli was 32, 33 of 20 odd balls.
And KL Rahul
was 40 of
22.
of the similar balls.
Yeah.
And I said, when did he get those runs? It just tells you he was getting them so easily.
But also, I mean, just to add to that, look at that partnership between Virat Kohli and KL Rahul. 99 or just 51 deliveries. Yes, he was getting them easily, but somehow that whole chat about the wicket keeping and batting, a certain other Rahul also started off that trend not too long ago. But there was a feeling from one of the New Zealand experts during the game saying that just exactly what Zaheer Khan was talking about right now, that maybe India shouldn't look to throw him in the deep end as a wicketkeeper because it'll distract from his batting as an opener.
I don't know. I've not opened the batting for India, so I don't know. No, but seriously, I think it's up to him. What does he think about it? Is his wicket keeping going to take a lot out of him? He's not kept a lot, going up and down. In 20 overs cricket, it's all right. Is that going to take a lot out of him? Or will we see Rishabh Pant 2.0 or Sanju Samson coming back? If they can earn the place in the side as a batsman in the top 5, either Samson or Rishabh, then you can understand, you can say, okay, Rahul doesn't need to. But if that means Manish Pandey is going through a great run of form, you want to play Manish Pandey at 5, then that's okay with KL Rahul. The question is 50 overs cricket.
And he himself has said that he enjoys it. He's looking forward to the challenge.
But he will. He will. I mean, if you're in his position, you would say too.
Certainly was. And if you compare him like for like to the other Rahul we were talking about, his pedigree as a wicketkeeper was certainly several notches above what Rahul Dravid was. Dravid was just trying hard to step into those shoes when India desperately needed that balance.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about KL Rahul, you're talking about him, and particularly in ODIs. I think wicket keeping for 50 overs and then opening the batting is always going to be a tough ask. That's something which he'll have to prepare himself for. I think T20 doesn't really matter because it's still a condensed game, shortest format. So that is something which is easy, and the game gets over in 40 overs. So that shouldn't be a problem. I think in short term, I completely agree with you that in the short term, it's going to be KL Rahul now keeping, and he must have had those chats with the management in terms of getting himself ready. I think what the challenge lies ahead of him is 50 overs, where he has to really put in that extra work in terms of getting physically ready for taking that kind of a challenge. I think mentally or ability wise, he's there. He's looked comfortable behind the wicket. He has been keeping for Punjab also in IPL. So that is something I think shouldn't be a problem. It's just about meeting the physical demands of the job is something which he'll have to keep an eye on.
I'd like him to keep for Kings.
And he's got experience in the domestic form as well.
And it's an Indian tournament. I know Nicholas Pooran is playing for Kings. I know Josh Butler is playing for Rajasthan Royals. But somewhere, I know the franchises are not answerable to Indian cricket, but for Indian cricket, it would be better if Rahul kept for Kings and Sanju Samson kept for the Royals.
Fair enough. We'll keep an eye on that. Certainly, we know that they have options, and also, of course, it gives you that extra balance in terms of the 4 overseas players. But we're not talking about that balance right now. The whole gloves that have been traded between Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul is a bit like the My 11 Circle expert couch, which was almost there, but not quite. 1 run.
Say it yourself. Come on, say it yourself. You got it. Say it
I had to
yourself.
bring it in. The reason why I have it is because the last ball of the power play that was pushed to Colin Munro, there was a misfield. They could have gone for a second. Had they gone for the second, the couch would have been yours.
Yeah, I said 60. I said 71, didn't
71, I said 60. So 66 was yours, 65 was mine.
I love your.
I wish the game was as close as the competition which you had amongst yourself. I was after 203, I was expecting that kind.
Closer game?
Yeah, I was expecting a closer game. I think it was 2-1-sided. It's great that India managed to finish the game with such a ease, but I was expecting a bit more competition from the game.
As a bowler, if 200 plus is not a total that is threatening a batting side, what does it tell you about the ground and the surface you're playing on? I mean, is this the best surface to be playing?
It's probably the ground
on?
and the dimensions, to be fair.
I mean, that was the feeling when the game was about to finish. I think after about like last 4 overs of the match, you pretty much knew what was the outcome of the game, and that is concerning. I think it's either the bowlers will have to figure out some kind of a way when things are not in their favor. I think it's moving towards when conditions are suiting batting, the batsmen are dominating, and when the conditions are suiting bowling, the bowlers are dominating. I think that balance in between, or that creativity is something which is not able to we are actually seeing a trend where players are analyzing the match post match. They are not really finding solutions in the game time, so being proactive, trying something different, we've not seen angle change or something which a bowler tries in the game. Like, you've seen that, okay, someone going around the wicket and trying some things. It's just about, the similar kind of thing happened in the first 20 overs. Bowlers were having a tough day, and we continued in the second innings, and the bowlers actually had, the New Zealand bowlers actually had enough time to figure out, okay, it's going to be a tough day. It looks like the wicket is good for batting. What if they're coming hard at us? What can we do differently to approach the game so that we are able to defend? I think the Indian bowlers tried the same thing, New Zealand bowlers tried the same thing, and the batsmen dominated over 40 overs.
One other aspect that we don't normally see in New Zealand, and I know their customs and immigration are very strict about dirt on the shoes and bringing in things. India managed to sneak in 2 suitcases full of dew and take it into New Zealand and spread it all over Eden Park, because you don't get dew there.
You don't, and the topic in India every time is there going to be dew? Because
Kane Williamson
determines
said,
your decision.
He said after the game that it was a little damp out there.
But I'm just seeing this. Some people might think, by the way, that I'm doing something else on my phone. It's a Cricbuzz app. Yeah, he said there was a fair bit of dew. Just rare, but yeah.
Yeah, New Zealand customs, look out. You've got to be careful. India somehow managed to find a way, but trust me, I might be just about sitting on the edge of the couch, having snatched it.
There he goes again, talking about how he won it. Come on, be a little more modest, Bhimani.
India was sitting pretty, having won it very, very comfortably indeed. But how many of you were comfortable with your My 11 Circle teams? Well, the My 11 Circle ultimate team of the day, this is how it looks. You needed to have certainly Ross Taylor, KL Rahul. I thought Shreyas Iyer could have been a contender for captain, but the mathematics talked about Taylor and Rahul. Certainly our expert panel had Rahul for the most number of points, so they were as close as you can get. Ross Taylor maybe about 5 points ahead. Shreyas Iyer certainly in there. Kohli, Munro, Williamson, Guptill, all chipped in. Guptill with that catch as well.
That batting side would have made 500 runs, I think.
Certainly would have, if you could put both sides in. Yeah. Again, that was the ultimate team, and if you had almost the best of all worlds, you would have been our My 11 Circle champion of the day, which is Sanjay Singh from Rajasthan, with, as we expected, a pretty big total of 542.75, typical of a 201 playing 203 kind of game. Yes, the first instance we've seen of 550, I mean, 5 individual 50-plus scores in a single day.
And I think each of those, let me just look at the card, I think each of those were under 30 balls. Rahul 56 of 27, Shreyas 58 of 21, they're all under 30 balls.
Yep.
Maybe Munro probably the
just
slowest.
about off. I think he was
Munro just the
33 when he
slowest.
got to his 50.
I think Williamson might be tapping on the back and saying, by the way, that's how he scored runs quickly.
And just to go back to where the whole discussion started about Kane Williamson, the captaincy, is he a T20 player? Does he walk into the team?
You think so? 51 or 26?
Just in case for those few people who threw the stones, that's it. The glass is intact.
The only place I must have that discussion is in Hyderabad, not in New Zealand.
But that was Williamson talking about the due. But Virat Kohli, the one factor that they never talked about was the jet lag. I know he may have been asked it at the toss by Simon Dool, and he said, well, yes, it was there for a couple of days, but in the team meetings, it's one of those negatives you don't bring up. It's there, it's gone.
And certainly after a result like this, you know, you jet lag or no jet lag, you know, you've gone out there on the field, you've done the job, you got the result which you wanted. You move on from there. I think, you know, that's how the team is going to look at it, and that's how Virat actually leading up to the match also. You know, he never really complained about it. Yeah, he showed his concern. He mentioned a few things, but wasn't really a shout out to saying that, oh, you know, this is not on, and you know, it's not going to help us prepare in the ideal fashion. You know, he said, okay, fine, these are the things which I don't have any control over. Yeah, so I'm just going to go on doing my job and get my team on the park and win a game of cricket, and that's what the team did.
Shreyas Iyer expectedly named man of the match, and all this augurs well going ahead to the second game. No travel for India just yet, because it's not always that you have to go too far. Second T20 International on Republic Day will be from the very same venue, Eden Park in Auckland. Both sides will have got a good hang of the dimensions, good hang of the field.
Yeah.
And I don't think they won't be trying to tinker with too many things. Certainly India won't.
No, I just thought, you know, we're talking 200 plus on either side. I was just going back to the app. Bumrah conceded 16 of his last 2. That's it. Just how much? You know, sometimes in a big 200-run chase, you look at all the batsmen and say, wow, he made 50 in so many balls. Bumrah in the last 2 overs conceded 16. Now, if in a run chase you had 16 to get of 2 overs, you'd be packing your bags and practicing your victory speech, right? That's how good he was. But 18th over, he conceded 4. Even in the last over, there was a miss hit here and there, he conceded 12. But these are the little things that make the 10-run difference here and there.
Certainly does. And you've got to remember Yuzvendra Chahal as well. You know, sometimes a leg spinner can be exposed in such conditions, small boundaries, but his overall spell, I think, also was something India will.
I think all the spinners did a decent job on this track. Don't go by the numbers in terms of how many runs they've conceded, but I think in terms of impact on the game, Chahal also pulled things back for India in that phase. Santner gave the ideal start for New Zealand to defend this total. Picking that important wicket of Rohit was something which the captain bring about the change. You know, tried to change the momentum. It worked in their favour. Yes, after that they couldn't capitalize on the fact that Rohit Sharma was out so cheaply. But that's exactly what they wanted from their bowling innings. You know, to set that tone. I think after that they were not able to pull things back. So that is something I think all the spinners in today's match should take a lot of positives from the game.
A lot of talk before this game was about selecting the right 11. This is the 11 that India put on the park, but let's have a look at the squad overall and see if there's any possibilities of change. Maybe one look at Jasprit Bumrah's ankle. I know he finished that final over. Probably the physio will have a look at that to see if there's any reason to just give it a rest for a few days.
That's it. That's the only one. Who was the player whose place was maybe, you know, borderline place? Were to some extent Jadeja and Shivam Dube. Now Dube's bowled 3 overs for 24 on that surface, and he's emerged as a very good 2-3 over option for Virat Kohli in this game. So you want to give him another game for sure. And Jadeja did all right. We bowled 2 overs for 18. It's still below par. Came in at the end. So I don't see the need to make a change. Yeah. Unless Bumrah, as you said, if that ankle we don't know.
I think even with Bumrah, if he has finished that over there, it doesn't really look like a big concern. Maybe a bit of strapping. Yes, it will be painful, you know, a bit of work with the physio, and he should be good to go.
But if he, as you said, are the signs all right if he's able to even finish that over? Or does it still mean that that was just done to strap him up for 5 deliveries?
Yeah, just an ankle twist. I think if and
I mean, you're talking of
and
someone
like
who
I said,
who just sort of measured life in hamstring tears. How does
yeah, I mean, if it was a concern, then he would have taken the measures there.
Yeah, correct.
And the fact that he finished the over without really using the strapping and stuff. If you ask me if it's going to be sore tomorrow, yes, it will be sore tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if you ask me if he's going to miss the game because of that, I think the chances of that is very slim.
Because if there's a problem, it would have gone off.
Yeah.
Let's just say he won't be strapping himself up on top of Sky Tower trying a sky jump. He'll be relaxing.
Nobody should. Nobody. You did, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
but I don't think the
nobody should.
players are...
Jumping out of planes, jumping out of
Yeah.
towers. No, that's for birds.
Yeah, it is. Plane I haven't done. I'm going to save that for another day. But in terms of the New Zealand team, they need to be jumping out and trying to figure out a way, a solution to turn things around on home turf against a side that apparently had just flown in and hence could have been jet lagged. So really, Scott Kuggeleijn has been an impact player for them, and I can just see that maybe they can try and push him in somehow.
For Sodhi or for Bennett or for Tickner?
Well,
One of those. I mean, I didn't see how much did Bennett go for. Bennett went for 36, which is all right. Tickner 3 overs 34. But neither of those look like creating an impact. So maybe for one of them, I don't know.
When you actually look at that bowling lineup, Sodhi is someone who has loads of experience. So you're actually expecting someone of his stature to take that responsibility, guide the other bowlers. But he looked out of place, and that has been the case for a while. So maybe New Zealand may go in that direction of saying, okay, let's just take Sodhi off the pressure and bring in someone like Kuggeleijn to add that pace. Hamish Bennett was impressive. He was bowling a heavy ball. He had that swing also. Tickner also was good with his variations. I was thinking that maybe if you score 203 runs, the batting team will actually say that okay, we've done our part. Yeah. Now it's up to the bowlers to defend the total, and you can either say that okay, Indian team has got such a great batting lineup and such a strong batting lineup that we are not able to do the job, but you have to dig in deep. And figure out how you can defend the total, and what kind of total is the right total. So it's only about, because the game is on the same ground.
Exactly.
So the dimension is going to remain the same. Rest of the things are going to remain the same. So batting, discussing that okay, maybe we need 20 extra runs to put this Indian batting lineup under pressure, and the bowlers need to figure out how you can get through those early wickets, or even if you get an early wicket, it's not going to be easy against this batting lineup. So what are our options? And these are the questions the team will be,
It'll be the same
asking
surface,
themselves.
It'll be the same surface. I don't see them change.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like after 40 overs that we bowled on it that it was too different. And as I think they said at the pitch report as well, if it's a drop-in pitch, it doesn't change that quickly. So another 40 overs. Yeah.
But interesting point he makes about how you assess when we go forward looking at the next game. Typically, 19 times out of 20, you're talking about, okay, where's the next game? What's the new venue? What will it play like? You're staying in Auckland. You're not moving. Same place, same dimension. So you've learned a lot from these 40 overs.
No, but he also said, look, when you make 203, you said the batsmen have done their job. Now look at the bowlers. Maybe the batsmen are sitting there and thinking, should we have scored more? Yeah. I think Virat has said in his post-game conference, he thought at one point 230 was on at one point. He thought it might be on. He said he liked the fact that his bowlers pulled it back. So I wonder if the New Zealand batsmen are sitting there and thinking, you know what, we got 200. Should we have got more? And if that's going to affect the way they play the next game, it might be an opportunity for India.
Yeah, certainly would be. And again, that depends on who ends up batting first. One thing that will not change, as always, is your opportunity to compete. And in your My 11 Circle team, just get that app in case you haven't done it. Download it and pick your 11 with a captain and a vice captain. So we asked all the questions we have from the My 11 Circle team, but we also asked some very stiff questions through Joy Bhattacharya, who promised at the start of 2019, because he gave a really, or rather 2020.
The first couple of Joy was still on in his New Year party.
He was in 2019 while we were in 2020.
New
He
Year
gave us
party
a couple
mode.
of simple ones, and now he's come to the joy of old. Yes, indeed. Have a look at this question again, because it's something that needs to be read carefully before you even sink your teeth into it. 4 Indians on top of a very special test list. 4th was denied by Vasandaranjane. third by Balwinder Sandhu, the second by Chandu Borde. Who is the number one who is not denied by anyone? And it took a while to figure out that it was India's top 4 test innings bowlers. Anil Kumble ended up picking 10 wickets in an innings in Delhi. No one denied him there. All the other 3 got 9 in a test innings, and these were the 3 bowlers who got that 10th wicket respectively.
So who would have been with Sandhu? It would have been Kapil Dev.
Kapil Dev 9 for 83 in Ahmedabad.
Chandu Borde would have been Jasu
Subhash
Patel.
Gupte and Jasu Patel were the 2.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Now, who was the one who picked this up? Because this wouldn't have been a 4-second answer. But who would have got it in maybe 15 seconds? Oh, yeah. Okay. We did mention Rohit's name at the start, saying that, Rohit, this is not quite up your alley because you won't get it like that. But when everybody else was taking 2 minutes, he took 30 seconds to get it.
Was it 30 seconds?
I'm assuming. I didn't see the... But
I
approximately,
mean, we've been talking of people making phone calls to others and sending little virus embedded files in between 2 high-profile people. I think we've got to check Joy's phone.
Yes.
And see if he accepted a video file from someone coming from there, who's hacking into his database and checking it out.
Well,
It was a good answer. It was a good answer.
It's a good
Apparently,
answer.
first instance of 550 plus scores in a T20 international. So there you go, something else.
That's one that actually stumped me, because you would have expected that T20 cricket's been around long enough to have had 550 plus scores.
Yeah, there aren't. I mean, to get 550 plus scores, assuming you've got, say, you need 3 in an innings. Most innings you'll get those in 35 balls. That's 35 into 3, 105 there already, 105 balls. So it's unlikely. It's unlikely to happen.
I think it was the real case was it was not one player who went on to get an 80 or a 90, which typically happens and takes away those balls. So everyone who got to 50 got to 50, and that was
Good
it.
point to that, because to some extent India will be happy that they chased it down without 2 people making 100 not out, 90 not out, but 3 or 4 contributing.
Yes, and knowing that going to the second game, Rohit Sharma is one of those, when he sees one subpar score, oh, he gets hungry there. So I'm sure when we come to our predictions next time, Rohit Sharma is going to be somewhere up there in terms of...
So it's 1-1 now, India versus New Zealand today. New Zealand won the A game.
They won the A game, yes,
India
by
won
29
this.
runs. India have won this.
Yeah.
It's all up to the young boys.
The young under-19s.
Young under-19s to see. But they got a great start from Saxena and Yashasvi Jaiswal. But we'll, of course, talk more about that on Republic Day on the 26th of January to see where India stood in this 3-match series, India versus New Zealand, across different formats. We'll be back for that. Thank you very much to Zaheer Khan, to Harsha Bhogle. We'll see you all when India turns, well, India's Republic turns 70, is it?
Yeah, 70.
70, yes.
Young, 70 years young.
70 years young for India's Republic. Another T20 international, the second out of 5 games. We'll see you then. This is My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.